Now this last example is going to boil the blood of every Bitcoin maximalist out there. What the hell is up, my disciples? Coding Jesus here. Today's video is going to get a lot of Bitcoin maximalists very angry, because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 5 examples of people who accidentally discovered Bitcoin's fundamental flaw, and there are consequences for discovering Bitcoin's fundamental flaw. Now, I previously made a video about Bitcoin's fundamental flaw. If you're interested in that, check it out. And a lot of people mention that it's only theory, that it never actually happens in real life, that Bitcoin's fundamental flaw is just an abstract conjecture that cryptocurrency enthusiasts like to debate. But today's video is going to show the reality of that abstract, because indeed, abstract is worthless without practical results. And those results are very unfortunate for a lot of Bitcoin users. So without further ado, let's take a look at 5 examples where Bitcoin maximalists accidentally discovered Bitcoin's fundamental flaw. Alright, the first example comes from Reddit, r/Bitcoin. The user Buju posted, "Exchange account closed because of risk profile. BTC sent to mixing services." Now this is extremely important because a lot of people on my previous video mentioned just use a mixing service and Bitcoin becomes private, or they don't know all the addresses of mixing services because you can just make a new fresh address and send your Bitcoin there and voila, they can't associate the two. Well, indeed they can, and this example and this video will show you that they can do that. Exchange closed account because of risk profile. The exchange in question is Bitvavo. It's a Dutch exchange website with decent fees and fast support. Initially, I was quite happy with it. I did indeed send my BTC to my Wasabi wallet and used coinjoin in there. This is the explanation I received, translated from Dutch. "Thank you for your message. The account has been closed." Wow, that's a great second sentence. Below we explain why. Bitvavo is required by European law to have sufficient knowledge of its users, their accounts, and all the transactions associated with those accounts. Bitvavo must estimate the risk that a user can pose for Bitvavo, and using Bitcoin makes estimating your risk profile very, very easy for them. If the risk turns out to be too great, Bitvavo is obligated to take measures to mitigate these risks. From a risk perspective, Bitvavo has decided that it is not possible to continue to offer you a Bitvavo account because the amount and frequency of your transactions to or from mixing services poses an unacceptable risk. For more information, see our policy about monitoring all your transactions. You thought that Bitcoin was private. You thought you are seceding from a transparent financial system that tracks and traces everything you do. Well, joke's on you, you haven't. Kind regards, Bitvavo. Anyone else had an issue with their exchange while using coinjoin or mixers? Is this a European-only thing? No, it's not. It's a tyranny thing, and unfortunately, we're marching towards authoritarianism globally. It kind of bugs me that I'm not allowed to do what I want with my BTC. Ooh. And that's the crux of it. Bitcoin was supposed to be an open financial system, a censorship-resistant open financial system. But it can't even do that now. You can't use your Bitcoin the way you'd like to use it. And he's also pissed that it is all being monitored. Well, you chose to participate in a financial system that is entirely transparent. You should, in theory and in practice, prefer a blockchain that is private by default, so that your transactions are obfuscated and so that exchanges cannot viably build a reliable risk profile as to your own withdrawal and deposit activity. But unfortunately, this user, like the next 4 users, has discovered Bitcoin's fundamental flaw the hard way. Alright, let's take a look at another example. So this one was coinjoin. The next one is going to be about tainted Bitcoin. And this one's going to hit home really strong for a lot of Bitcoin maximalists, because a lot of them in my previous comment section were laughing and joking about how much they want tainted BTC because it comes at a discount. Well, things don't come at a discount for no reason. Let's take a look at why tainted BTC trades at such a steep discount. Okay, dirty BTC coins on the XMR market. TLDR, I sold XMR for BTC, that's your first mistake. Transferred it to 2 different exchanges, and both accounts independently got locked in the past 2 months. You can't hide. The first exchange was Poloniex, which out of the blue just stopped my withdrawals. When I open tickets, all they will tell me is my trading activity looks suspicious and needs a person to prove it, So listen here. In the traditional legal framework, you are innocent until proven guilty. But when you use Bitcoin, you are guilty until proven innocent. Keep that in mind. They will give me no information and are not asking for any information, but just keep giving me that empty response. Imagine this person had 20 Bitcoin on the exchange, even 1 Bitcoin on the exchange. And it's been 60 days since he's gotten a hold of his Bitcoin. This isn't KYC anymore. In my realm, what I consider this to be is confiscation. If you require me to provide an endless amount of information to you for you to release my Bitcoin from your exchange, and you've done this for the past 60 days, you've effectively confiscated my Bitcoin. It's not mine anymore, it's gone. And that is just one of the prices that you will pay for using that tainted Bitcoin that you would love to buy for 30% off. Well, guess what? That 30% off is gonna look really expensive when they've confiscated your Bitcoin. Okay. The second exchange is Bitfinex this week. They also stopped withdrawals and also stopped trading. And they too responded with generic, "You look suspicious," but they are now asking for KYC info, like way too much information kind of questions. Like the questions I get asked at airports. Like tax forms, passports, all previous transactions, my owned addresses, all transactions, all wallets, and view keys for my Monero wallets. Okay. These restrictions are purposely extremely onerous because they're not looking for you to be able to provide all this information, and they know you cannot. You're suspicious, you're guilty until proven innocent, and unless you have the money to hire an entire legal team to get you out of this situation, your money is gone. But unfortunately, that's a risk that you enter into when you use a transparent by default financial tool like Bitcoin. I don't even know what to call it anymore. It's not a medium of exchange. I rarely consider a store of value anymore, so I'm just calling it a financial tool. Okay. Up next, we have an example where Bitcoin coinjoin is applied retroactively. So it's not only, hey, I'm trying to withdraw from my account to a coinjoin address, but I've withdrawn to a coinjoin address 3 years ago and now I'm in trouble. So let's take a look. Got an email from BitMEX about old Bitcoin deposits transaction last summer. So this tweet was tweeted March 23rd, 2021. Last summer is over 200 days ago at least. And they may be connected with activity that is against 1.1a of the HDR terms of service. Of course, extremely vague. 1.1a, go search it up, couple of sentences online. It was a coinjoin transaction, #privacy. Once again, this person discovered the hard way, and unfortunately, if a lot of Bitcoin maximalists do not heed the words of coding Jesus, they will become just another person with their cryptocurrency confiscated. All right, this one was quite straightforward. You aren't only unsafe now, you will be unsafe in the future if you use Bitcoin, but you are also unsafe in your past. That's how Orwellian this is getting. All right, let's take a look at our fourth example. Paxful account was frozen due to CoinJoin. Just had my Paxful account frozen yesterday. I've always used CoinJoin as my primary personal wallet. I got 1 BTC on Paxful. I've sent them some answers to the questions they asked. They asked for all the records of my BTC transactions from my wallet. Definitely didn't send them that, as it is none of their business. And he is right that it is none of their business. But he makes it their business by using Bitcoin. He makes it an obligation of theirs to make it their business by using Bitcoin. Explain that I use Wasabi and CoinJoin on my personal wallet, and I'm guessing it's somehow flagged from that. With that said, not all my spends were 50 plus privacy, a couple were 30 to 40, not sure if that had anything to do with it. What I think he means by 50 plus or 35 to 40 is his risk profile. Like I said before, I've used Chainalysis. They give you a risk score for every transaction out there, and not only every transaction on an exchange, every single recorded transaction on the blockchain. And 50 plus is probably the threshold that Paxful uses to flag you as risky. Now, I don't think that this person has since received his Bitcoin, so you can consider it gone in the ether and unretrievable. It's been a year. Okay. Now, this last example is going to boil the blood of every Bitcoin maximalist out there. It's going to punch them in the gut. And maybe after this gut punch, they will wake up. But maybe, just maybe, and I suspect that this will happen to the majority of people, this gut punch will have no effect. Okay? So let's take a look. This is an example from none other than Hal Finney. Now, who is Hal Finney? From those of you that don't know, Hal Finney is the first person to ever receive a Bitcoin transaction and the first person to email Satoshi in a more involved manner, right? A back and forth email exchange than anybody else. He was the first person to get extremely involved with Satoshi and email back and forth. So on January 10th, 2009, Hal posted onto Twitter, running Bitcoin. A mere 11 days later, he realized Bitcoin's fundamental flaw. And rest in peace, Hal, you discovered it a lot sooner than many other people that have been using Bitcoin have. Looking at ways to add more anonymity to Bitcoin. Ouch. Ooh. If I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, ouch. My Lord and Savior Satoshi's guardian angel, Hal Finney. The first thing he ever said about Bitcoin after running it, after using it, is this needs a lot more anonymity. Hal saw the problem and he had the foresight to see the issue, the fundamental flaw of Bitcoin, years before anybody did. And for that, that's very commendable. It just goes to show how involved and dedicated to Bitcoin Hal Finney was, and just how smart of an individual he was to post that Bitcoin needs a lot more privacy. And this wasn't a post he made years after using Bitcoin. It was the first post he made after tweeting that he started running Bitcoin. Rest in peace, Hal. Alright guys, thanks you for watching this video. Hopefully you've learned something from watching this video. I wanted to use 5 practical examples to really hammer my point home. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you are a Bitcoin maximalist and you hate this video, don't only thumbs down, double tap thumbs down to show me just how much you hate it, and subscribe for more content, guys. I make content on code, quant trading, and cryptocurrency, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to join my Patreon community, you can go ahead and do so. Link in the description box below. There's a lot of benefits that come to my patrons, and there's 3 separate tiers. If you'd like to join our Discord, link in the description box below. And if you'd like to talk to me one-on-one for whatever, consulting, career coaching, mentorship, whatever, I have a link in the description box below, and my email is there as well to inquire. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.